Hello everyone and welcome to this month's garden tour. If you have missed our previous videos, we have moved and today I'm going to give you a tour of our new space. This is going to be our first garden tour at our new home. We are not in New York City anymore, but we're not too far. We moved to Rockland County, which is only an hour away from New York, so we can still go back and do some fun things in there. We are renting and we're very fortunate to find a little house with a lot of outdoor space, and I can't wait to show it to you. We are going to start here at our little backyard area and where the future vegetable garden is going to be. As you can see, I still have my green stalks. They're doing good, and right over there on that area where the black tarp is where I plan to make raised beds for next year. But for now, let's take a look at these green stalks. And today is a beautiful day, but it got a little chilly in here and a couple of them are covered. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually remove these covers so we can see what's growing. Look how beautiful this nasturtium is looking. There are lots of things growing from this one. And I'm going to remove the cover on this one as well. And I can show you guys both of them. This one did not have a cover on, but is looking really good. So let's start with this. So this is my oldest green stalk. If you guys have been watching for a while, you're familiar. I had this for about 4 years now, and everything is growing very nice. I have this beautiful Mizuna in here, purple Mizuna, which volunteered from some seeds that I sowed in there for the spring, I believe. And then I have some nasturtium growing here that's also a volunteer. This one is a variegated one, and I believe it has orange flowers, but I don't have any flowers on this yet. I'm very surprised that they're doing this well this late in the season, and they just kept growing once we moved here. There's some parsley in here. There were from, I can't remember if this one's self-seeded or if these ones were already here. I have to watch my previous garden tours to see, but they're doing really, really good. This one is beautiful. I've been harvesting a lot from this one. Very happy about it. I have some lavender here in the bottom that I'm hoping that will overwinter in the planter, and some rosemary in here that I just harvested from it too. I'm going to turn it around a bit so my shade's not on the way. Oops. Here in the back there's not as much going on. I have to water, it's getting a little dry. We haven't had a lot of rain in a while, but there's some more parsley in here. Those little ones for sure are volunteers. I had one of these parsleys to go to seed on the summer and dropped seeds everywhere. I have some volunteer in other spaces as well, but I have some lemon balm in here too that volunteered. More parsley in the back, another lemon balm, another Mizuna coming back here. This one I think is a pansy, which I'm very excited about. I hope it survives the winter. Some more lemon balm, seedlings, more parsley, more lemon balm. So this is all reminiscence of our summer with everything going to seed and sort of dropping in the pockets, and I'm just letting it be. I'm actually happy that I have things growing back at this time. So we're gonna let them do their thing and see how long more they're going to last there. Now on this one, I guess they're taking a little bit beating by the sun, but I have some chives in here that recently planted. This kale came back. If you guys been watching, you've seen this. And then I have a few new things in here, which are this purple broccoli seedlings. Those are purple sprouting broccolis, and I planted them here after we moved, and those are going to overwinter on this planter. This is a heirloom variety that needs to overwinter in order to produce florets. So I put them in 4 pockets over here, and I have some more in there that I'll show to you guys soon. And I'm going to turn this around one more time. This is a nasturtium that also volunteered. I'm actually hoping that it's a baby from this guy here, because look at this. They're so beautiful. This is the same one that I had in the spring. It went to seed and kind of died back in the summer, and now it's just going back again, but it's the same plant growing back again. Sorry, you can see that kind of died over here, and they just sent some new growth from the bottom. So that's pretty cool, and I hope that guy over there is going to be the same as this, but at this point I'm not sure if we're going to have enough time for it to flower, because it's starting to get cold. So I also have some beets in here too from the spring. They didn't grow very much, but I like the color here, so I'm just letting them be. Here are, I believe it's some radishes. Yes, I saw some watermelon radishes before we moved, and the leaves are looking good, kind of getting a little droopy now because of the sun since I removed the cover. And I have some strawberries in here that just got here from a runner, from this one here that I bought on the spring. It sent a runner in there, and another one, I think there's another one here. Oops. So we're gonna have some strawberries next spring, hopefully. This is another volunteer nasturtium. And on top of here I have some arugula that I also sowed from a plant that went to seed, and I just threw the seeds in there after it dried out. I guess we have the broccoli here from the spring that's growing back. This is crazy. This guy, I wonder if he's going to produce a broccoli. That would be amazing if he did, but it's looking pretty good. And there's more arugula in here. Something is eating it. I'm just seeing, so I'm gonna actually check for bugs again before I put this cover back on. Same with this. Looks like it's been eaten. Maybe I missed a cabbage moth or two when I covered this up. And that's it for this guy. Looking pretty good for this time of the year in a colder region. Our new home is not too far from New York City, and this is considered zone 6B, 7A. Most people here around me are telling me it's 7A, but I'm just trying to be cautious and plant things as if it's 6B since we just moved. I want to try to be a bit more on the cautious side with the new plantings next year until I learn the weather patterns better in here, because I don't want to plant things too early. So I'm telling myself that 6B/7A, but so far it's been pretty good. It's October 31st today, and we still have all of this growing in the garden. Here I have a raspberry plant that I got from Eileen. She's a friend from New York, and it's growing nicely. I hope that produces some nice fruit for us next year. I put lots of leaves in here to help mulch it and keep it warm. Here on this planter, I start here with our baby spinach that I planted after I moved here as well, and I want to overwinter them. So they're going to be overwintered spinach to produce for us hopefully early in the spring next year. I plan to keep this covered through the winter. Same with that one over there. We're going to use the frost covers for those, and hopefully they will overwinter well. Below here I have some more volunteer parsley. So much, right? And I have some, I think it's a arugula in here that also volunteered. Another parsley baby growing there. Hope you guys can see it. It's just crazy. So many volunteers. I love it. This parsley plant here is also looking great. We've been eating lots of parsley, as you guys can see, and I'm not complaining. Then we have some more radish in here that also got a little droopy after I took the cover off. Maybe they are a bit sensitive after having all of that protection. Wow, the spinach looks so good. Love that. The lettuce is looking okay. It's put a lot of growth after I put the cover on too, but I think it's going to seed. So maybe our little lettuce experiment for the fall didn't really work out. Oh yeah, it's definitely going to seed. See, this one has a little, it's bolted. It's alright, I'll just harvest those leaves to eat. Have our beautiful pansies from the spring too. Gorgeous. I love this so much, and I'm so glad this one is still alive. We've got a big rosemary plant down here, still doing good, and some thyme that I plan to cut and dry for the winter. Same with this rosemary here. I think I'm gonna cut at least half of it and try to let overwinter just half, so it has a higher chance to survive. I don't know. What you guys think? What should I do to try to keep this plant alive through the winter in here? Let me know how you guys overwinter yours, especially if it's in a pot and a planter like this. And here I have a little volunteer marigold that looks like it might bloom, which is cute. I have some dill. I also volunteered for a tiny plant that I had and struggled in the summer and went to seed, but dropped seeds everywhere because there's some more dill plants in this planter. Another pansy, more spinach, beets that also have been here since the spring. I'm just letting them be. They seem like they started growing back again. There's some green growth in here. I'm gonna turn this too so you guys for better sunlight. Here I have some more dill. See the dill I said I had all over the place. And here I think it's an arugula. I'm not sure. Maybe a radish? We'll see when it grows a little more. More spinach, more volunteer parsley, another volunteer mizuna. That's really cool. I think more dill in here, more parsley. So very nice. This, I haven't been rotating these planters much, so these little guys have been in the back, but they're still alive and doing good. So I'm happy about that. But this, oh, this one is an arugula too. That's also looking like it's getting a little having a hard time. We are in full sun now too, because the trees, I'm sorry, have dropped their leaves. You can see here this tree, when we came in, when we moved in, it was doing making a lot of shade, but now everything is sunny all the time, which is good, and it's definitely helping them grow a little more. But because it's hot today, these guys are suffering a bit, so I might actually have to put the cover back on just to protect it from the sun. I'll keep it open, but I think that maybe the leaves got a bit sensitive. You know, when you have plants in a greenhouse, you usually have to vaccinate them sometimes a little bit before they come out. Maybe that's what happened. The leaves got a little thin, so just give them a little bit of shade and see if they'll do better now. Oh, and since we're talking about GreenStalks, I just want to mention that they're having a cool season sale from November 1st to the 5th. The leaf planter is going to be on sale, so this one over here and that one over there. So this one is the one with shorter pockets and more tiers. There are 7 tiers on this one, and a little bit shorter pockets, and they're perfect for greens and herbs and all the stuff that I'm growing on it. I love growing greens on mine, especially in the spring, and if you have been watching here for a while, you know how well they do. I love having fresh spring greens on them, and I'm planning to do a brand new planting on that one also next year, because I'm not sure if all of these are going to survive the winter. And they also have the covers, the spinners, and the movers, which are the bases for these guys that make it easy to rotate around and move it around. So if you want to get any of these things, that's a great time. I still want to show you my pots in here in this area before I move to the front. And I have this beautiful marigold that just came back to life. It was looking really bad when we moved, and then it's just starting to look super beautiful now with the cool weather. So very, very pretty. I saved some seeds from this one through the season, and I plan to plant a lot of them in the garden next year. I love this variety. I can't remember the name of it, but I will definitely share more with you guys when I'm doing the garden planning video. I still have some seeds from this, from the original pack, and I also saved some over the summer. Here I have another set of the purple sprouting broccoli. So these guys, I have 2 in here because I was afraid one of them were gonna die, but they're doing really good. I wanted to have a couple in a pot too, unprotected, to just see the difference between overwintering them. As I mentioned, I plan to cover the ones in the GreenStalks, but these ones are going to be just open the elements. I did put some mulch in here to protect them a bit more and keep them warm. I'm excited to see how these guys are going to do. I have another one right here as well, and this one I had 2, and I think the other one already got eaten, so just putting 2 as insurance. And believe it or not, I have a tomato that grows in this pot. It's volunteer. We have had some cold temperatures, and this guy is still doing really good. I think it's because it's close to this wall, so it's keeping a little warmer than everything else, but I'm happy to see it. I'm just leaving it in here for enjoyment, because it's definitely not going to produce tomatoes or survive very long, but it looks so healthy. This one, I love looking at it. There's another one here too. Those are both cherry tomatoes. They're volunteered from cherry tomatoes that I had growing here in the summer. I have some thyme in this little pot that I hope that overwinters. And here I have some lemon balm and some more volunteer parsley. All right, the last thing in here on this area is this blackberry. This is actually a non-invasive blackberry called Marionberry, I believe. And I planted this here in this spot to probably trellis over this, just like the raspberry that we have in the other big pot here. Those containers were already here when we moved in, and this one gets shaded when this tree is full, so we'll see what happens, but I can always move it a little more to this side if I need next year too. Now this is the area where our vegetable garden will be. I had some different ideas for it already through this fall, but I'm thinking that I will try to just let things settle and really try to plan more in the winter. So this is the area that it's going to be mostly dedicated for vegetables. We plant a few flowers in there for the pollinators too, but it's mostly going to be a kitchen garden because that's the door that is close to our kitchen. So it'll be easy for me to access and come grab stuff in here. Because of the green stalks, I'm a little spoiled. After having lots of greens and stuff in them and herbs, I like to come out and grab something real quick if I need. So I want to kind of have the same mentality and plant in here the things that I use the most in the kitchen. All right, now we're going to move on to the front yard, which is actually the biggest area of this property. And it's looking very pretty in there because we have that gorgeous maple tree with leaves still. Most of the other leaves have dropped some, but that one we're gonna get close to. It's looking really beautiful. Here we have a little side bed that I want to do flowers. This rose was already here when we moved and it just bloomed again. How nice. It has this red inside and then it's yellow underneath. Let me see if I can get a better one to show you guys. The light's a little bright. See if I can pull it to the shade. So it's a simple rose but has this nice undertone yellow petals, and I'm gonna leave it because it's looking nice and big and was already here, so we're gonna let it be in the garden. I have planted some little rudbeckia in here. This was in a pot on my backyard in Astoria and is doing great here. I also have some salvia that I planted here that was in a pot, and this is the Gabriel oak rose that I also had this summer. It's beautiful pink flowers, but it's not flowering right now. Hopefully it does well overwintering and it's going to grow a little bigger next year too. Those irises were also here in the property. I have no idea what color they are or anything, so we'll discover that together next year. I have planted a butterfly bush here that looked like struggled a bit, got a lot of yellow leaves, but then now has tons of new growth. So I'm guessing that the roots were able to establish and is doing a little better now. So we'll see how it's gonna do next year. And here I have my big peony. I decided to bring it with me. So this is the white peony that I had in my backyard, and I dug it up and I buried the roots in here, and I'm hoping that it's going to survive. It's not gonna rot or anything because our soil here is a little bit more heavy, and produce some beautiful flowers for us next year. Now I'm not very familiar with growing peonies. I'm not sure if they're going to flower next year after being transplanted, even though I didn't break the roots. I transplanted the whole thing. So if you guys know, let me know. I've heard that when you transplant them, they don't flower for a couple of years, but I'm not sure because these guys had a lot of eyes and had a really big, massive root clump. So maybe they will flower. So if anyone has experience with that, I'd love to hear about it on the comment section down below. Now let's take a look at those little pots that I got here. This is where we park the car, so we are not going to grow anything in here, but I have these pots here from when we moved and I didn't really want to bring them to the back yet. I was deciding what to do, but we have these beautiful turmeric plants here that I plan to harvest really soon. I mean, it's going to be November already and I still have them, so we'll see how the roots did and how much turmeric you're gonna get this year. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to harvest. Here I have a dahlia too that I decided to keep in this pot, so to see if it would make bigger tubers, but kind of struggled and I decided to cut it down, but now it's sending some new shoots, so we'll see what happens. I might have to keep this inside under grow lights once it gets really cold because this is a very special variety called Kilgai Ann. It's hard to get and I don't want to lose the tuber, so I'm going to try my best to see if it survives. Back here just have some pots with some, I think it's oregano and some more volunteer parsley, the seeds that fell in here, some citronella in there. It's a bit of a mess, but I wanted to show you guys because it's the reality of the garden right now, and we're gonna deal with it and find a new home for it next year. Now let's take a look at a beautiful maple tree. Look at that. She's gorgeous. It was looking very pretty this morning when the sun was right directly on it with the blue sky. And I have done some work back there and on that side that I'll show you guys in a minute too. But first let's look at this little side bed that I have created here too. So this is a place that I transplanted a lot of the perennials that were in my backyard. So I have lots of rudbeckia in here, different colors. I have the white one that I had, the cream I believe, there's red, there's a pink one that I got from Eileen. So we'll see if they're gonna survive. They are turning yellow. I'm not sure if it's because of the cold, if they're getting a lot of water. I don't know. I did water this bed a lot in the beginning because I was afraid that they wouldn't establish, but now I'm thinking I might do too much, so we'll see what happens. I also have another peony in here that I have to cut back. I just left the leaf here so I could show you guys. This is from Eileen as well, that I did a garden tour. She gave me the raspberries, the pink echinacea, and this is a pink peony, I believe. She says she's not sure. We'll figure out the ones with flowers. But since it's a small cutting, this one might take a couple years of flowers, so we'll see. I also have a butterfly bush in here that's looking good and also putting some new growth. That's exciting. Here I have the butterfly scabiosa that I had growing in the backyard. There's a little parsley in there that I didn't feel bad throwing out. And here I have some ranunculus. This ranunculus volunteered in a couple of my pots. Oh, didn't volunteer, came back from what I had last year. And one of the pockets of my GreenStalk, I believe those are white ranunculus. So since they just grew, I decided to transplant them here, and I'm going to add lots of leaves in here and see if they will overwinter. But that's an experiment. I was not sure. I had no idea they were going to come back because I probably just forgot to dig those corms. And it would be lovely if they did flower for us early next spring. And behind here I have rudbeckia that was in the back in our backyard too, and this one is so beautiful. It's the double kind of dusky brown pink, I don't know, maroon what color that is, and I really hope it survives. I did save some seed from it, but I'm not sure if it's going to stay true, so we'll see what happens next year. I have another echinacea there. This is another parsley, and I couldn't hold myself and I bought a hydrangea. I went to Home Depot to get a few other things, and this guy was on sale for $15. So I got it a few weeks ago, so it was looking pretty bad now, but it was looking better when I got it. And this is a, let me see, called Bobo, and apparently it's supposed to be more like a miniature variety, not supposed to get too big. That's why I put it in here, and we'll see if it'll survive into next year. Okay, now we're going to take a walk at our other new planting spaces that I have prepared, but let's just stop again to just look at this maple. I am so in love with this tree. We're so grateful for it. It's just so beautiful, and I love that it has the little swing over there. It's just lovely to have morning coffee and look at the pond and the things around, so I really like it. But let's keep walking and moving along with the tour, and I'll show you a few other spaces that we want to plant for next year. So here might be a little hard to see. I'll walk a little closer in a minute, but I just wanted to show the layout. There are 4 no-dig garden beds in here that I have made in this month of October. I have now covered all of them with leaves, and they are ready to be overwintered in here and start breaking down and decomposing to be really good for planting in the spring. This one over here is the sunniest. That's the one I built first. So I was originally planning to only do one because I need our sun in this area, but then I decided to do this other 3 because I had the cardboard and the compost, and I know it gets shade from these 3 over here, but I'm just curious to see if I can grow anything in here. I'm thinking about cool flowers or something that I have to plant super early, and then maybe later in the season, once the shade comes, I can plant something else. I don't know. We will think about this and make all the garden planning in the winter too, but we do have these 4 prepared beds. Those 2 over here are 50 foot long. This one is 18, I believe, and this one is a little smaller, but it's kind of in a triangle shape. I put lots of leaves in here to cover the compost, but now walking by I can see that some of the compost got exposed again, so it's easier for you guys to see. I did water earlier this morning because I was trying to see if those leaves will stay in place, but I can keep just raking. That's tons of leaves in here falling from this tree, so I'll just keep raking and covering these up if I feel like they have been blown away with the wind, and we'll see how they're going to hold through the winter. Here we have our pond, which is beautiful and really big, but it is starting to dry right now. We haven't had a lot of rain, and in the last video I mentioned that we might want to irrigate these spaces with it, depending on if it gets filled up again next spring. I'm not sure if you guys can see how low the water level is with the camera, but when we came to see the house in August, it was all the way up to there. It was pretty full, but now has definitely drained out a lot, but it's okay. we will see and learn more about pond maintenance through this winter as well, to try to take a better care of it, let's say, on the spring. We're also planning to do a little waterfall feature or water feature over there in this corner, just so we can keep the water moving, because we do have a lot of green stuff usually on top, and we think that if you add more oxygen and keep some more movement, that will help with that too. And this is an area that's kind of open, you see, like if you see here. There's lots of things growing on the edges in other places, but here is kind of open a bit, so we decided that we wanted to make maybe a little waterfall, something that's solar powered in here, just to keep the water moving and without that nice water sound as well. So I think it would be very cool. We hope to find something that's not too costly next year. And also we want to irrigate that space and this space over here that I just showed, those 4 beds, with the water from the pond if possible. This space over here, it is quite sunny. It's a little shaded right now too, because the sun angle is getting pretty low. But I did a little experiment in here. You can watch the past couple videos to see. And I tried to grow a cover crop on top of our existing grass. I am not sure if that's going to work, but if you are curious and want to see what's going to happen next year, please make sure to subscribe so you will see what happens with this. And also tag along to see all of the transformation in our new place too. This is a little overview of how it looks now in the fall, and I'm very, very excited and curious to see how we can transform this place in the spring and summer. I talked a lot about this cover cropping experiment on the past couple videos, so if you want to learn more details about that, you can go back and watch those. And on this area over here, we are not really planning to do anything. It is very shaded, so we'll see in the future if you might do a shade garden in here or just put some tables and chairs for enjoying the garden. We're still deciding about that, but super excited to see how all of this is going to come together next year. And in this area here, I am not sure yet what I am going to plant. It's going to depend on what happens with our cover crops or how much compost I can bring in next year. We'll see. So we'll decide that through the winter as well. By then I should know if these guys are going to grow or not. And I'm also planning to grow native flowers all along the pond. So all around the border, along the border, I'm gonna try to grow lots of flowers. So I still need to decide how I'm going to prepare the soil for that too, and I'll bring you guys along once I start working on it. Alright, and I'm going to end this tour here. If you like this video, please remember to press that like button. It really helps. And don't forget to subscribe as well to check out the progress of this space through this whole winter and next gardening season. Thank you again. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.